My question is on a related matter, not directly associated with this, but related to a statement that Mr. Gonzalo just made. So perhaps I should sit and come back?
It's not.
Well, if it's not
It's related to the tax levy. It's related to the proposed tax change documentation that we've sent to the state.
Okay. That, I think that is a different issue. We will hear you on the matter after we deal with the resolution.
Thank you.
Good evening, Rob Holt with Tiverton. I was wondering if I could perhaps ask you to direct a question to your solicitor. My understanding is that the solicitor's law firm is representing Barrington, and they have already made some position statements on how they're going to go about taking the forfeit vote or whether they're going to take one home. That might be germane to what you're trying to resolve here.
Where did you get this kind of information? I'm not aware that is taking place.
I read it in the Second Times maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago that the town administrator of Barrington was applying to get a waiver and break the cap, but that it would require forfeits go to their town council before sending it to approval. I'm under the impression, I could be wrong, that your firm represents that town as well. I just thought maybe that might help you resolve this dilemma, if that's true.
Our firm does represent Barrington, but unfortunately I don't know what action or decisions or discussions have been had. It might be something that Mr. Tights would know about if you want him. He'll be here later in the meeting.
You know, basically, we have not applied for the waiver. I don't know how many times the council is going to take that position, but we say it at every meeting. We have asked for information that would, having submitted information, what are the parameters if we were to be entitled, if the financial town meeting voted in excess of the cap, what is the parameter of that vote? What is the cap, in other words? And I don't know how many times we can say that, but we are not applying for a waiver. It's not us that will be involved in the waiver, it will be the financial town meeting.
Well, that really gets us back to this motion.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, and this is really an argument that was first raised in response to some of the issues that I've been discussing, and that is no one at the financial town meeting is under any obligation to explain his vote. It could be for any ridiculous reason. I've just decided it should be 8.2, 9.01, anything within the 9.04, which, by the way, is the numbers, the percentage that we're involved with now that we're with the state. And let me read that, by the way. This is part of the package that was sent to Jill Barrett at the Division of Property Valuation and Municipal Finance. And I'm quoting, quote, notice of proposed tax rate change. Quote, the town of Tiverton proposes to increase its property tax levy to $35,097,367 in the 2010-2011 budget year. The property tax levy this year is $32,187,295, and in bold lettering, this is a proposed increase of 9.04. But getting back to this motion, while I believe that as a town council, we have to be cognizant of what the rules are for asking for an excess, I don't believe that has to be done at the financial town meeting. They need to be informed that over 4.5%, you're exceeding the cap, but they don't have to explain it. Then, presumably, it'll come back to the town council. We can make these representations, for example, that we fall within the following exceptions to the statute. We can make a representation that this excess levy is due to a loss in total non-tax revenue. We can make those representations to the state if we try to get certification after the fact. But as far as I'm concerned, this is just totally irrelevant to the financial town meeting as a motion. If you were to ask somebody who made the motion at the financial town meeting, why are you proposing 7.5, 8.4, why are you doing that? And his answer could honestly be, and appropriately so, it's none of your business.
Then I don't see a motion like that pass it.
And that's why I'm opposed to
The town of Tiverton is not a bunch of idiots.
I agree with you, but my point is, why are we trying to read the mind of the person who may stand up and say, I propose an increase in the levy of 9.04%. We don't have to do it at the financial town meeting. This is a job for the town council, and it's a job for the people.
The point is,
involved.
no one on the floor of the financial town meeting is going to propose anything to do with the levy. They're going to vote on real numbers.
On real-
Okay. They're going to vote on real numbers.
I agree.
I think it is imperative upon us to be able to say, as each number is presented and each vote is being taken, what that does in terms of the position we're at, in terms of this law, which puts a cap at 4.5%. I don't see any reason for us to be passing a standby motion. I think if that number should exceed, a document like this we can have, and then someone can make a motion based on the numbers that they wish to appropriate. If it does put us in a position, then you have to have a motion that explains where you're going and what you're doing. But I really would like to have numbers going in irrelevant to this, because I'm not in favor of passing a motion to exceed something when right now the recommended budget is below that number. Should that budget pass, moot point about whatever we're doing with resolutions and motions. And again, I still believe that if somebody is told that a vote on this particular motion at the floor of the financial town meeting would exceed the cap and an affirmative vote is taken, then I think they voted by a majority vote to exceed the cap. And then we would have to go and seek certification for the number that was appropriate. And sure, we better hope that it falls within the number that we may be granted a waiver if it's necessary.
Mr. President, could I ask for the reading of the motion? What motion is there on the table?
I've raised my hand.
See, yes.
We need a rumor, I have it clear.
My motion is simply to disapprove the proposed motion.
Disapprove this?
Yes, sir.
And the reason I say that is that I think we just need to wipe the slate clean. I heard Ms. Griffey's thing about her point, not a thing, excuse me, her point that we may be influencing people. And I think that if we leave it tabled, we could be accused of trying to influence people. I think that the citizens of Tiverton have made it perfectly clear that they want the financial town meeting on 3 different occasions recently over the past several years, that they want that decision made at the financial town meeting. We have set it up, and when I say we, I mean everybody. The budget committee has a recommendation. They've done their job. They stayed under the 4.5 cap. We have respectfully disagreed with their recommendation and said we should have more for the municipality. The school board has done their job, and they've told the budget committee, we respectfully disagree. We think we should have more. If I may, the options are all there. Now it's up to the voters. And I think that leaving this hanging around could be construed one way or the other. And I think just moving it off and being done with it is the way to go. Then we'll deal with whatever the facts are after the financial town meeting and the voters have had their say. And we have to figure out where to go from there, whatever that may be. But I don't think anybody on this council thinks that the voters of the town are illogical or about to run out and raise their taxes. I'm pretty sure.
Not been
of
my
that.
experience.
That's right. Absolutely. So I'm very confident, including our colleague who's not here, we would all agree that there are not a bunch of people that are anxious to raise their taxes. Therefore, I would like to just keep that motion. And we do have a second.
We have a motion and a second.